Then Blake's lawyers attempted to revise the harassment clause so that she could terminate the agreement if harassment occurred. They write, in the event artist is aware of any sexual harassment conducted by the company, the artist shall have the right to terminate this agreement. Well, Brian Friedman turns around with his lawyers and says, what? This is not acceptable. There can be no instances where there is a right to terminate the agreement or have a right of injunctive relief because, as Judge Lyman agreed, there was never a signed agreement, ever. How did her lawyers miss this? At the same time, the judge quoted her counsel's statement that her experience had been deeply concerning on many levels, right? Okay, she did write a 17-point conditions for return to work manifesto, and the producers themselves responded to that because they wanted to finish their film. And so they said, yeah, we'll be ensuring a safe environment for all involved. And that's paramount to us, blah, blah, blah. Judge Lewis Lyman concluded that even assuming Blake Lively's factual allegations were true, the legal mechanisms that she sued under ultimately failed because the sexual harassment provisions in the loan-out agreement for Blake never became enforceable because, once again, no final signed contract existed, and because the parties were still actively disputing the harassment provisions themselves. Much of the alleged conduct did not legally satisfy the threshold for actionable harassment claims, and the stronger evidence supported retaliation claims rather than harassment. Another major reason he rejected the harassment counts was timing. The alleged PR and smear campaign Blake talks about, the alleged smear occurred after filming, right? After he was stuck in the basement and the movie came out, and after the working relationship had effectively ended. So he ruled these acts can't legally create a hostile work environment because she was no longer working in that environment. So this leaves the three claims, retaliation and breach related. Sadly, Blake herself was not convinced at all of that, as we know, because she pushed her lawyers or the lawyers pushed her to settle. So she didn't even buy it. She's like, we got to get out of this. And now some say she should sue her lawyers for screwing all of this up. She paid like way above $50 million, reportedly. Well, she can't do that. She can't sue her legal team at this point because she would look crazy. Crazier. Clients, who sign a settlement agreement also at mediation, which they did right before the Met Gala, effectively waive the right to claim any misconduct by their attorneys because they can't claim their attorneys caused them to settle on less favorable terms if they go to mediation. So that would undermine the strength of her malpractice claim since the attorney's conduct and communications during the mediation are largely shielded from disclosure. So in practice, it would be nearly impossible to prove. So the conclusion to all of this is Blake is sitting on pins and needles right now as Judge Lewis Lyman is about to issue the ruling on the final straw. It's like the final straw to this long thing that started with a mountain of evidence and 15 claims and went down to, we'll never see any evidence because you settled, and 0 claims. So she's got one little thing having to do with her attorney's fees, there's no chance of all of her attorney's fees. There's no way that Lyman's going to say, okay, she's owed a full restitution of $70 million or whatever it is. But he might say $1 million, here's $1 million, something, to which she will declare a victory. And you will know very well that is not a victory. That is a total dilapidation. And she should be pissed 18 ways to Sunday with her lawyers and every other person that she hired to stop her from doing this. Like, where's the agent? Where's the manager? Where's the husband that says, what are you doing? This is crazy and not worth it. I'll tell you a funny quick story. I mean, I when I got canned in 2016, I was so pissed I wanted to sue. I wanted to, I settled. I was like, whatever, just give me a check here. How much does my reputation cost again? Whatever that here, just write me a check. And it was, reported publicly to be twice the size of what it actually was. So insult to injury, it wasn't, what people said it was. But you know who called me and said, hey man, I hear you're thinking about suing. Don't do it. My cousin, Bush 43, El Presidente. He said, don't do it. I said, why? Why? I got them dead to rights. These sons of bitches, they did that. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, not worth it. Not worth it. Just move on. You got a great life. You're going to be I never told anyone that, but it's true. He did. And I appreciate it because there goes 3-4 years. It would have gone 5 years and I just would have been angry. That's not good. You got to get up from that. So, thanks, Dubs. Okay.